Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today, YouTube land? It has been a real ordeal to make this YouTube, but I'm coming to you as authentic as I know how. Oh, I had it going on and my mom called me. That's a part of the anxiety that I'm talking about today. And I'm going to talk to you being my true and authentic self. I was coming to you to talk to you about the anxiety that CNAs have and how sometimes we're not respected in our workplace. But this is my third wardrobe change for today. And just bear with me. I'm going to be all that I can be because I told you guys that I would come back this week and I really want to start growing my followers, growing my listeners, and letting you guys see Tunde for who she really is. So, my first thing today is, oh, and I also want to honor my ex-husband who was still feel like my husband. He told me, don't stop and to keep pushing on. And he passed away last year, so I honor him today. And I also want to say, read you something that makes you feel good. So I just want to shout out to Squire Rushnell and Louise Duhart of the Godwinks. I was on that TV show with Kuda, and they talked about me. So I have been reading this book. It's autographed, personalized autographed book, and it has unusual blessings in it. So anything you want to do to combat your anxiety, also still pick up Unusual Blessings. It's out on Amazon, TundeHector.net. Just continue to support, and I'm hoping to really do this. I always watch CNN, so I am literally a commentator in my own right, and I love Chris Cuomo. He is my guy, and I want to emulate what he does, but I enjoy the knowledge that he brings to the table, and I want to say to him and his family, I am glad he is better of COVID, because that really scared me. I was really kind of shaken by that. I was like, wow, Chris Cuomo had it, George Stephanopoulos. Like, I love those guys. Like, literally, like, I have had so many patients who watch the morning news and Shark Tank and different shows. And when you're with these people for excess amount of days and hours, and you watch what they watch on TV, you gather respect for the things that they do. And that's kind of where I am with that. So I wanted to get that out. And yeah, so I was dealing with anxiety today. Came to you, like I said, 3 times, like a wardrobe change. I've done my podcast, Unusual Blessings, out on Spotify and other venues. I've done a TikTok, which is my outlet. That's one of the reasons I want to come to talk to y'all, because I know it's kind of confusing. It's like, is she an actress? What is she? What does she do? But I love to act. Like, I love it. And I'm pretty good at it. But I'm a boss at the same time. Like, I'm smart, but I like to act. Is that bad? Well, I don't care if it's bad or not. I'm going to just be myself. Either you take it or you leave it. I mean, because if I was talking to somebody for real, this is how I would talk to them. And they would be laughing. And we would be like, girl, you so crazy. I'm like, yup, that's me. It is what it is. Your true and authentic self. Be you. With your unusual blessings will happen. Look, never give up. That's my slogan. That's my slogan. But anyway, anxiety comes. Anxiety comes in many fashions. Being a CNA is a very fulfilling job. That's maybe one of the reasons why it's kind of taken me a long time to become an RN. Is because I love being a CNA. And I think that CNAs are undervalued because they do so much of the work. They give so much of the love that is needed on a day-to-day basis. They endure so much. And for the last year and some months, I have reverted back to working in a nursing home. And that's what I started out doing. But I'm working on my business daily. But, that's what I'm doing to pay the bills, because that's what I do. Being a CNA, no, it's not what I do, it's who I am. And it's when it's who you are that counts. In these times, we got to lean on what counts. Not what we think, not what we want, to count, but what counts? Family, morality, people, humanity, being able to, reach out to the people who have less and give of yourself. And you don't have to give the way others want you to give. You give the way you see fit to give. People will have you doing all kinds of stuff. You won't have no money. How you know? Because I've been there, done that. But what I did do, I laid down my foundation. I didn't go away from it. I just stepped away. But I stepped back. Because on the business side of this thing, other than acting, I'm a boss at doing anything that presents itself, because I'll try anything. And that's how we got to do. Dealing with anxiety, we got to be able to try anything to make that patient feel good. Whether it's talking to them like you in 1945, or just, appeasing them when they can't even remember that they just came and asked you a question. And 5 seconds later, they turn right around and ask you the same question, or ask the nurse, or ask the DON, or ask the wound care nurse, or they go off because they think, why is this woman bothering me? I'm hurting. But we're there. Healthcare is there during this time. But it's our anxieties too that count. CNAs that work in nursing homes, their anxiety counts. I'm here speaking on their behalf. I advocate for the CNA. It's an unfair game. It's money to be made, but how much do we want to risk our lives? I have a son with underlying conditions. I'm definitely afraid of bringing anything home to my son. Anything. Because I seen him as a baby have a temperature and spike and have a fibrotic seizure, and me watching my baby and making sure that he slept all night long and that he did not run a fever. That's why I cannot. But I have had a patient and they came in contact with the corona. It was proven that they did. I had to see about the people after, but it's just like anytime we have a patient who is on isolation, we have to gown up. So we got PPE, but one of my co-workers, she wore her mask for 3 weeks. She was like, why I can't get a new mask? I'm like, yo, you wore it for 3 weeks? What are you saying? I'm gonna say something about that. No, don't do that. I get masks, I buy them. My mother's gonna make some. And I'm going to use them. But back to the anxiety. What do we do with the anxiety? We can walk, I like to pray. I like to talk to God about it. I like to act. So I have really utilized TikTok. I'm taking this time to pull into myself. What are you going to do with this time? What are you going to pull in at this time? What are you going to pull in at this time? Are you going to pull some positive information in, positive energy, positivity, or are you going to push out some negative, which can be easy, but how would you feel if you could pull in something that brought you something, that rewarded you, that made you feel good? And that's what I feel about being a CNA. Because at the end of the day, when I go home and I know that I've taken care of my patient, I go in there just to talk to them, make them laugh. I got one lady, I've been knowing this lady since I was a little girl. So I always take her back to that time because that's what she remembers. And she knew my dad and she knew my grandmother. So I say, this is, I'm marrying Hector and Randy. I'm Randy Hector's daughter. I'm marrying Hector's granddaughter. You is. How you doing? I said, you been to Newtown? She said, no, I ain't been over there in a while. You been? I said, no. She said, what are you doing there? I said, well, I moved out of town. She said, you mean it? Sure enough. It reminds me of my granny. My granny used to say, sure enough. And she used to say, Tantan, I want you to be a real lady of tomorrow. So my part of being a lady is telling you and being the true and authentic Tunde and telling you to protect yourselves. If you have anxieties, go meditate. Go do things that make you feel good. Get a good night's sleep. Eat vegetables. You know, we all are going right now and may not, have time to cook, but I try to get something kind of vegetable-y. I want to shout out to McDonald's because I have been utilizing the healthcare thank you meal every day. Yeah, it's only certain things on the menu, but you can most definitely feel the love because it's free, right? We like free stuff, right? So, and after that, then you can go to the Dollar General and you can get a 10% off discount for healthcare workers. So I think and I love that, and it makes me feel good. And it takes some of the edge off too to know that I can shop a little bit and I don't have to really worry, or if I don't have enough money to get me a meal that day, or maybe just don't want to spend any money, right? That's McDonald's. We don't want to spend any money. That I can go to McDonald's and get a good breakfast. I can get a good lunch, or I can get a good little old dinner. So I just want to come to you guys and give some positivity, give some light, give some sunshine, give some love, first and foremost to the healthcare workers who are putting their lives on the lines every single day in this country. And they're being ignored. There are people who do things way more important than CNAs do. Patient care techs, and then when you do really get up to the nursing field, where these are absolute professionals who are smart people. I used to take care of a nurse, and she was an anesthesiologist nurse. She was a nurse of anesthesiology, and she was smart, and she needed my help. She was a patient of mine. I really respected her. I gave her the care that I would give my newborn baby because her body hurt. And I knew why. Because she had worked hard. She worked hard. Made a good living. So I give my utmost respect and all of my honor to the healthcare staff and anybody else essentially that works. Grocery store workers, people at the store. People are still, trying to get about with our life here in Georgia. We opened up today. I wasn't too keen on going out today, so I didn't go out. I'm gonna stay in a couple of more weeks. The decision that was made by our governor, Brian Kemp. He's from my hometown, Athens, Georgia. Went to the same high school as my father. I'm gonna stay in, not because that's neither here or there. It's more here than there, but I'm not going to speak on that. I'm going to be positive because I know in my heart that I can move around, be very, very careful. And even if you are careful, people have still gotten the coronavirus. It is what it is at this point where you just could still continually take your precautions. But just do that, and everything that you're fighting for and everything that you want, it's gonna come to pass. We're gonna speak those things as they though be, not as though they were. And it's your girl Tunde, and I want to thank y'all for listening to me on COVID, anxiety, meditate, permeate, and fumigate. It's your girl Tunde. Y'all have a good one. Peace.